BMW N52 engine N52 B30, housing, electrical connectors, housings, terminals, how to release them. So we're gonna start with this. This is the one from the water, electric water in a touch. You can see a touch. There is another wire. It's the thermostat and a ground, just a ground connection to the same lumen, to the same because it comes in a whole plug or a whole cable that goes underneath the engine on the front, and it's full of oil because obviously this car was leaking. Anyway, to release it, to release the locking, and you just pry up, and it came out done. You keep prying it until it comes out. For me, it's a little hard because I'm trying to film and do this work at the same time. That is the hard part of the videos. And there, it came out. So basically, it goes like that. I tend to put it the wrong way. It goes like that. Okay, and what you're doing is just pushing away. And that's how it comes out. Okay, and then to release the terminals, you can put your instrument, and you're gonna bend the blades a little bit. Not the blades, but the tops. And and so you do each one. Insert your instrument inside there. Okay, so you do all of them. And after you do all of them, okay, so after you do all of them, right, one by one, in every square opening on top and bottom of the terminal. Now after you do that, you pull your cord and it comes out. And so now I'm gonna show you what are you bending. When you put your instrument through the square opening, you're bending this top right here. You're bending it down. And you do it on the bottom. So if I turn this, you can see the top. Okay. So this is a socket terminal to receive the bladed connection of any other device. For instance, this is the connector for the water pump, and this particular one is the ground. And you can see this this terminal, it's bigger on the crimping size because the wire is a bigger gauge. There's not a lot of um, in the engine wiring harness. There's a lot of terminals this big, meaning the crimping portion is not that big because there's not many wires that have um, a bigger gauge. Like this one is this gauge is, you can, the way I measure it is by, if I grab my tool here, and I close about to when it feels like it's gonna cut. This is gauge 10, so gauge 10, and if it's not gauge 10 then it's 12, but I think it's gauge 10, and then that means this crimping size, it's 2.5 millimeters. It could be 2 to 2.5 millimeters, square millimeters. And so that way, when you can order for bigger gauges and you need a bigger crimping sections, but the same size, then you know what to order. And also, you're gonna order the rubber, and you just order rubber for gauge 10. We'll talk about that on another video about how to order, but how to order and how to find the parts. It's a little not, it's not very difficult, but it's just hitting. It's underlined because we'll explain all that in another video. But here, this video is most to how to release the terminals and the housings, and we're gonna do another video on how to crimp. I already have a example A video on how to crimp in the car that was kind of hard, but I'm gonna show you how to do it. And so this is the terminal, and so here goes the bladed instrument connection, and on the front we have the tabs that bend down and up to lock in the housing, and then on the section we have the crimping section, and then we have another tabs to hold the rubber and on the insulation. And this is the terminal, and now we take the other ones, and it's the same. You just pull, and you remember the numbers, right? So we start on number 4, and we work our way out. And so you remember this color is gonna be number 3, and this number is gonna be number 2. Most of the terminals of BMW, the crimping section goes toward the numbers, so that when you put the cable on back, you have a good sense of the cable is good, and you can see that the locking, it's facing up. Also, the locking window, and that's how you pull these wires. And so just pull them, and this big one, it's a little bit beat up, and so that's how you do it. And then to put it back, you just bend the tabs up. So what you do is you bend the tabs up. So it helps a lot to unbend the cables, the tabs. If first you, on the blade, you put your instrument inside there on the socket terminal, and make it even inside, right? And then just the very tip of your instrument, and you just press up and you can hear it clicking, and then you turn around and that's how you do it. I'm gonna clean a little bit more here. They're dirty. Okay. So then we go number 4, and I tend to put the crimping section. Okay, the crimping section here. Right here, up towards the numbers. Where the numbers are, they go up. And it doesn't really matter where they go because the blade, the tip is gonna catch either way. If you put it backwards, it's gonna catch. If you put it this way, it's gonna catch anyway. But I think it's a good practice. That's most of the cables that I undone. That's how they come from the factory. The main reason is because sometimes see how it click, okay? Because the reason is because sometimes the housings have little windows and you can see how the wires are in there. So now the other ground, you put it on the next number, and let's see if it's clicking. I didn't hear it clicking, but when I pull, it won't come out. And then same thing with this guy. We turn it towards a number, the crimping, and I hear it clicking a little bit. This one for sure is gonna click, and I twist it a little bit so it goes the way I want it. There. Okay, now the next example is similar. I wanted to show you a similar connection, but now that was the water pump was on the ignition / injection section, the wiring harness ignition section. In this section, this is the engine control section. And you can see this plug is similar to the water pump. The difference is that this has 1, 2, 3 terminals. The other one had 4. And to release, and you can see it's the same shape. The same shape. Okay. These are the unlock, to unlock and to pull it out of the connection of the device it's connected to. And so let me show you the housing for the other one. This is the housing for the other one, for the water pump, and you can see it's 4. And here I'm gonna show you how the openings that you put your instrument, they're square. You can see this one is beat up a little bit, so it has a space there also so that your blade can go in, right? Goes like that. And then on the rectangular, in this position is horizontal rectangle, right? It's like a cross. You look at it like this, it's like a cross, right? But look at it like this. The rectangular is where the terminal sits. So when you put your instrument here, you can bend the tabs. You can bend the tabs like that. Okay. Okay, so that's the housing for the water pump. Okay, with the retaining lock. But the retaining lock goes like this. Okay. And port numbers maybe. They're so tiny in this one. Anyway, when you order the housing, it comes with its lock. But if you just need a lock, you can also order just the lock. But most of the time, you have to buy the whole housing, which can be expensive if you order a few. But I think that's the best I can do, because let's see. There. Is it a little dirty or is it burned? There. There. Okay, and then this is the housing for the oil level sensor. And so same way, you pull out the retaining lock is by pushing either on the bottom or on the top. You just push this tab up and it comes out without breaking in anything. So this is the retaining lock. And now we're gonna, same thing, we're just gonna put our instrument in this opening. Okay, right there, and right there, and right there, and you got a little stuck, and right there. And then you release the weather protection. This one is small. You can use a screwdriver if you want. I use my fingers. See. You can see also this one is very oily. So under this cable with the oxygen sensors go underneath the engine by the driver's side. So it comes out of the junction box here, right? It comes out of the junction box on the longer cable, pointing towards the cabin, and it goes underneath the car It's this cable right here. It goes underneath the car with just clips, metal clips attached, some plastic, like this one. There are just in holes in the some in the chassis, others in other clips that are attaching to the engine, but there is not a big deal. You just pull them out really easy. The metal clips, you can just bend them and it will come out very, very, very easy. So now we're ready. Once we pull that weather protection, we can pull the wires, and you pull the wires. And I'm gonna bend them. Okay. And okay, so right after you put your instrument there, you force a little bit down, and then you're gonna hear a click, and then the wires can come out. And so you make a note before you take your cables. Maybe this time I'm gonna do it on the order. There is numbers. Most of the BMW housings have numbers on the housings. So there. So which one is one? 1, 2, 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. Okay. So the purple goes on 1. Brown goes on 2, and power goes on 3. Purple is a signal back and forward through the DME. I think they're called it BSDT or BSD. That is bit signal data, something like that. Okay, so we start with number 1, and you just pull, and it comes out, and you pull the other one, okay, and that's the housing release. It has on the bottom of this, it has another weather protection. In this case is green. On the other housing was yellow. So there's another way how to recognize housings. You not all the time you have to take it, but if you take it, it's also very easy. This one has a lot of openings all over the place, and you can just push. It's just like a rubber band, and it comes out. See, it comes out if you want to, and it's just a rubber to protect from weather. We put it back in just like that. We push it down. When we put our locking, it will come all the way down, the locking retainer. And this is how the openings look. Okay, now we put our wires back, So in order to put them back, what I do, if let's see. So first of all, I make sure that they are in the right shape with a smaller flat driver, um, and then I put my instrument in there to start helping the top to bend. Too many focus things here. Let's see there, to make our top bend back. So I put it in there in an angle a little bit, and I try to bend it back, and it click, and then I turn the other one. I turn the blade and I try to do the other one. See if that helps. And I can see my blade. And now try to do it a little bit more. There. Focusing on the other things. There. That's is how much it needs to catch. Okay. The other side too. Sorry that I'm not doing this on the camera. It's a little bit difficult. I'm gonna try to do it. Just a hair, and through the little openings here on the side of that, you can see my instrument coming in and out, and that way you can see how much you need to put in there, and you're just bending that top up. So when you click a little bit, that means it's out of the groove and it's ready to catch. It's ready to catch. Number one. Still with that. There. Ready to catch. Came out of focus. There. Ready to catch. Okay, so we do all three.
When I wrote the song Hope, I wanted to help everyone with this condition to remember they're not alone, to never give up. Watch my hope make it bigger.
Okay, so you can see now. You can see all of them are bent upwards. Okay, now you grab your housing. Now I have too many housings here. Okay. So now you grab your housing, and so you remember that one is purple, and the numbers, the crimping goes towards the number, like so. Okay, flat and square to square flat towards that rectangle that I always showed you before. So number one, just like that, and you push the cable. Okay, and it goes in. You know, I can pull it, and then brown is number 2, and we put the crimping towards that side also. Okay, we put the number 2. And you click, and then last one, it's power, and it goes in there just like that. And then I grab the housing, sorry, not the housing, but the retainer, and I want to say it always go, the, not always, because they're different, but in this case this top goes on the bottom of the housing. So you go like this. Yeah, and okay, this one okay, so this one goes on the top. This top goes on the bottom of the housing like that. You just press down, and once you put your weather pack, not weather pack, but plastic weather protection. So it slides in. Of course, when I do it on camera, I can't do it. It has a groove there where it slides. Okay. Goes in the groove like that, and it slides in. And then you push your lumen a little bit. Okay, and then you try to close it on that same groove. And then the tops engage on the plastic lock, and it's good to go.